of the service rules of the MPSC. As you're aware that the MPSC has been functional for decades, but it did not have service rules for the employees out there, and hence today in the cabinet we have finally cleared the service rules of the MPSC. At the same time, there was a very minor amendment that had to be made in the Meghalaya Medical Council Act of 1987. As you're aware that earlier there used to be what we call the the Medical Council of India, MCI, and in the Meghalaya Medical Council Act, the word MCI was still there, but as you're aware, the MCI has been changed and now it is the National Medical Commission, and that particular word had to be amended in the Act of the Meghalaya Medical Council Act, and that amendment has been today proposed through an ordinance, and that was cleared today by the cabinet. And then there were other issues that were there, which of course we could not clear because there were some discussions and more clarity was required, so those were deferred. So hence I will not be mentioning about those particular cases. So mainly these two subjects were discussed today. The first agenda was the clearing of the service rules of the MPSC. Every department has service rules which determine the different things of aspects of promotion and the different posts and all the different procedures that are followed. Basic service rules which are there in every department. MPSC was functioning without service rules for the last many decades. In fact, many departments have been functioning without service rules for many decades. In the last 5 years, in the first term of this government, and now in continuing, we have made extra effort to ensure that the MPSC rules are, the service rules are there in place for all the departments, and in line with that particular objective, the MPSC rules, finally the service rules have been notified today. So number one, NEP is something that we have to implement, and obviously there is consensus in the fact that the NEP is good for the students. So therefore that aspect is very clear. Nobody is against the NEP. The challenge is in actually implementing it in terms of the manpower and the infrastructure that is required for it. So therefore, in any kind of change that is there in any system, transition has its own challenges, and hence we don't expect that everything will happen in in a smooth manner. We wish it would happen, but we understand that it's not so simple, and hence the challenges will be there. And from the state government side, of course, for all the government colleges, we will be doing all the necessary steps that are required. The deficit colleges where are supported, which of course, as I mentioned, is independent and run by management committees, and wherever government has given support, that support of course will continue, and we will see to what extent we can support, because there will be a lot of colleges that are there, and we cannot just give a blanket green signal that we'll do everything. The management committee, the college sponsors will also have to work hand in hand with the government to make it happen. So we'll have to see how it goes. But as I said, of course, the government will also be there to support in whatever way possible. But we cannot commit and say that everything will be done by the government. We'll do our best. So, this is for the deficit and the ad hoc colleges that I mentioned. Obviously, as I said, we have to remember there are different categories. Government colleges are run by government, and hence, obviously, everything has to be done by the government. Deficit colleges are run by management committees and sponsors, and the government supports in certain posts that are there, and ad hoc also we give a lump sum grant. So in the second and the third category, we will do as much as we can.
So coming back to this law and order for Independence Days, because we have seen even
all the colleges are required to move ahead with this. Whether it will happen now or it will happen later, that's something that the Education Department and NEHU will discuss with the respective colleges which are affiliated to NEHU, which is almost all of them. And hence that discussion will happen on a case-to-case basis. But from a larger perspective, as I said, number one is very clear that there is no opposition to to the NEP. Everybody knows that it is in the best interest, and hence everybody agrees that it should happen. Number two, everybody also understands that there's a huge challenge to it. It's not that it's easy. All transitions are difficult, and hence we will have to ensure that whatever challenges are there, we have to slowly overcome those challenges. There will be a lot of financial challenges, capacity building, rooms, infrastructure. All of these will have to be created. And third, as I said, from the government side, we will do whatever possible in our hands to support it. Going into details of which college, how far they have reached, what is the status of each college, that we worked out with the respective education department and the respective colleges. That's what I'm saying. So it's difficult for me to state right now. There are certain deficit colleges who also are very keen to move forward. The students are very keen to move forward with it. And obviously it's our desire to see that it does move ahead in every angle and every college. But there are challenges in all levels, and obviously we'll have to see how to overcome them.
So we can say in what?
Yeah, we have to move forward. There's no choice. We have to be very clear. We have to move forward. But it does not mean that we can just bulldoze our way. It doesn't mean that we cannot take the college and the teachers into confidence. We'll have to take people into confidence, and we'll have to see how to move forward and work together to overcome those challenges.